Hello, welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, aka the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters, because what could be more woke than my big forehead? That's why I have a fringe. So just be careful, it might damage your eyes. Having said that, right, I'm going to talk about J.K. Rowling and India Willoughby. Now, I released a video not yesterday, the day before, on the fact that J.K. Rowling misgendered India, and India decided that that was a hate crime and reported it to the police. Now, we have since established that it's not a hate crime. It has been referred to as something else. We will get into that in just a moment. Please do like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. This video will probably get ratioed because it has J.K. Rowling in the title. So if you like it, then it will help get the video out there. Now, I am not going to show any favour towards J.K. Rowling as best as I can, or any favour towards India as best as I can. If you want to know my opinion on J.K. Rowling, go back to some of my earlier videos that I have released. Now, I did a poll yesterday with regards to what has been going on, and I asked, should misgendering be considered a hate crime? If so, then why? News broke today that J.K. Rowling has not committed a hate crime, against trans activist India Willoughby. Of course, India is disappointed, and according to India, the police have recorded this as a non-crime hate incident. Now, India wants to push more as other trans activists double down on J.K. Rowling. Full video tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to name any of those trans activists directly. There are two in mind that I can think of that have doubled down on J.K. Rowling even more, but I'm not going to draw attention to those particular two. But 100% of the 16 votes said truth should never be said 100% no, it shouldn't be a hate crime, and Problem Being said truth should never be a crime, and Deadman746 said of course not, I don't support the concept of hate crimes anyway, as opposed to love crimes perhaps. Now, I will be linking all of my sources below. Now, I have a slight conversion to make. I am part of the India Blocked Me Club for making the simple suggestion that people should also link the conversations as well as screenshotting the conversations on X, so therefore people can be more informed. So unfortunately, with regards to India stuff, all I have are screenshots, but I will link India's profile so that you can go and have a look at India's profile and make a decision for yourself, an informed one, okay? Not just by one group. Right, so definition of a non-hate crime incident is non-hate crime incident, NCHI, means an incident or alleged incident which involves or is alleged to involve an act by a person, the subject, which is perceived by the person other than the subject to be motivated wholly or partly by hostility or prejudice towards the person with a particular characteristic. And then if we go to a particular characteristic, which is section 16, down here it says transgender identity or perceived transgender identity. References to being transgender include references to being transsexual or undergoing, proposing to undergo, or having undergone a process or part of a process of gender reassignment. I will link that, so because there is a footnote to that, so please do go and have a look at the government website. It is full of information that you need to know. So India Willoughby, J.K. Rowling's complaint did not meet criminal threshold, police say. Northumbria police have stated that India Willoughby accusation that author J.K. Rowling misgendered her online did not meet the criminal threshold. Earlier this week, Willoughby, a trans woman and broadcaster, reported the Harry Potter author to the police for calling her a man. On Sunday, Rowling posted a criticism on X, Twitter, of trans women being allowed into changing rooms, women's changing rooms, and mentioned Willoughby in her thread. Let's just address this because that's incorrect. It was Socialist Stanley who said, "Hi Joanne, so you are saying this lady should use the men's locker room then?" Posted a gif of India Willoughby, as I showed you the other day, which resulted in J.K. Rowling saying, "You've sent me the wrong video. There isn't a lady in this one, just a man reveling in his misogynistic performance of what he thinks a woman means, narcissistic, shallow, and exhibitionist." And then, of course, you know, she does go on to mention India's name, and it says it here. The author wrote India didn't become a woman. India is cosplaying a misogynistic male fantasy of what a woman is. And then, of course, India did a Byline TV interview and said J.K. Rowling has committed a crime. I'm legally a woman. She knows I'm a woman. She calls me a man, and it's a protected characteristic. Willoughby added that the Northumbria police, she had contacted the Northumbria police to report Rowling's comments, which she described as a hate crime. I don't know if this is going to be treated as a hate crime or malicious communications, but it's a cut-dry offence as far as I'm concerned. In a statement given to the PA News Agency on Friday, 8th of March, a Northumbria police spokesperson said on 4th of March, we received a complaint about a post on social media. While we recognise the upset that this may have caused, the post was reviewed and did not meet the criminal threshold. The complainant has been updated of this. And after Willoughby announced that she had reported Rowling, the author said that Willoughby had appeared to have forgotten the forced data ruling, which established that gender-critical views can be protected by law, may have forced data successfully brought a case to the Employment Appeal Tribunal to establish that gender-critical views are protected philosophical belief under the Equality Act 2010 in 2021. Rowling also claimed she was advised previously that she had a legal case against Willoughby for defamation and added there is no law compelling her to refer to the TV personality as a woman. She said on X some time ago, lawyers advised me that not only did I have a clearly winnable case against India Willoughby for defamation, but India's obsessive targeting of me over the past few years may meet the legal threshold for harassment. I ignored this advice because I couldn't be bothered to give India the publicity he so clearly craves. Nevertheless, we must all do our bit to combat hate. So India will be glad to know I have taken note of his homophobia, racism, and humane stance on immigration. Nor have I forgotten India's shocking transphobia. It appears to have slipped what passes for India's mind that he has previously called a fellow trans woman a man on this very site. We will get to that. Surprisingly, for such an eminent legal authority, he appears to have forgotten that the forced data ruling established that gender-critical views can be protected in law as a philosophical belief. No law compels anyone to pretend to believe that India is a woman, whereas I am, that it's an offence to lie to law enforcement. I'll simply have to explain to the police that, in my view, India is a classic example of the male narcissist who lives in a state of perpetual rage that he can't compel women to take him at his own valuation. Okay, so that's the article. It's linked, obviously. Now, I want to address what J.K. Rowling says here. Some time ago, lawyers advised me that not only did I have a clearly winnable case against India Willoughby for defamation, but that India's obsessive targeting of me over the past few years may meet the legal threshold for harassment. And that got me thinking, because I've read all over the place on X that trans activists believe that J.K. Rowling is targeting them. Now, my question would be, is that as a whole? What do you think? Is it as a whole? Is it direct? What is it? What does that mean exactly, that she's targeting trans people? Now, with regards to this, I went and had a bit of a dig to see if there were any people she directly targeted, and I couldn't find anything. There is one where she mentions India, but that was all because of everything that was going on with the Byline interview being reported to the police. That was all due to that, of course, which is this tweet here, but we'll get to that in a minute. And I found this one accurately sexing trans-identified men who send misogynistic abuse to women is not discrimination. Man is not a slur. I know a lot of you think the UN should intervene whenever women bruise your egos, but there is no human right to universal validation. You click on it. Okay, the X handle has been redacted, and it says, "Well, this is awkward. How exactly will you be marching against yourself for this blatant discrimination?" And then obviously this has got a screenshot of Rowling's tweet, and then we go down again, and we're looking at the tweet that we covered the other day. And if I actually pull up the picture, which I didn't cover the other day, it's again redacted, and it says, even if that were true, how would barring trans women from women's spaces protect against predators? They go in regardless and have since women's spaces exist. Of course, there's trans predators and they should be locked up, but that's not the way to go about this. Okay, but it's still redacted. And here we go, another one, again redacted. I'm not going to read it, but I have linked her profile below, so go and check it out. But yeah, there you go. And this one's very obvious. This one is redacted. So there you are. So she tries not to target, from what I can see here. Now, let's have a look at something that Joanna Cherry tweeted the other day. And this is all in relation with India reporting J.K. Rowling to the police. For information, I reported this tweet to the police, and Willoughby was visited by them and spoken to. If only PM Starmer and other political leaders would take these nasty threats against women, MPs and activists are taken seriously as they take other threats. Okay? And this is J.K. Rowling saying, for reference, this is the individual whose precious feelings are more important than truth, according to some of his fellow men. If you think women calling this person a man is more offensive than him publicly fantasizing about kidnapping women, I can't help you. And there she has screenshotted. I wish she'd linked it as well, but she had screenshotted the post that India Willoughby had made, which was, how big a van would I need to kidnap Joanna Cherry, Mayo Potato, or Potato, or whatever, I don't know, and the Witchfinder woman. Witchfinder woman being J.K. Rowling, because I believe, if I've got this correct from my memory serves me, that India refers to J.K. Rowling's followers as flying monkeys. I think I have that correct. But that could be wrong because I don't have access and I couldn't find a photograph of it. Now, obviously, that would suggest then that India does actually potentially, allegedly make targeting in some respects, quote unquote, a thing, and that's just alleging to this. And T. Jenny on X pulled some of these photographs together. 3 of them I recognize. One of them I didn't, but there you go. Willoughby is a complete hypocrite, but the usual suspects will completely ignore his disturbing tweets while continuing to attack women while condoning his raging misogyny. Okay, and here we have Brianna Guy. And Brianna Guy was, and now I'm going to talk this way because if I don't, my video will get suppressed. I don't want it suppressed because I feel like what we're discussing here is actually very interesting overall and is something that may actually happen in the future. So Brianna Guy, I did a video about Brianna. Brianna, she was unalived and it was horrific. You can go and check that video out. That's absolutely fine. The following people, and this is what India tweeted. The following people helped off trans teenager Brianna Guy: at J.K. Rowling, at Ricky Gervais, at Piers Morgan, at Julia HB1, at Victoria Peckham, at Ian Collins UK, at TV Kev, at that Alex woman, and countless others. Shame on you, on all of you, for denigrating trans people. I hope this makes you change, but I doubt it. And then India also tweeted this. And this was in response to another post. Post a villain that people treat like a hero. J.K. Rowling. This was the one that I wasn't aware of. Okay, so this is, I don't know when this particular one was made, but so India tweets, thought this was Peter Tatchell at first. Interesting that some of the worst GC anti-trans lesbians have effectively socially transitioned, dress, wear their hair like men, but are very comfy mocking, dissing trans women. I said some. Okay. And then this one says, Frumpy Child, pornography reader Helen Joyce, who launched with key funder of anti-trans groups in the UK, former children's author J.K. Rowling is back online. Shameless. And in this photo, it's a bit difficult to see, but India's named people in this particular photo, and then India says underneath that, I count at least 6 men in this photo. Did JKR not notice? And then Debbie Hayton sent a reminder to everyone. India Willoughby not only deliberately misgendered me, Willoughby called for my premature demise. And then it shows a photograph. The sooner Debbie Hayton pops his clogs, the better. And then Debbie, she's asked a question about pronouns. And Debbie says, I honestly don't care whether people use she, her, or he, him pronouns for me. But I find it unacceptable that India Willoughby moans about it while doing exactly the same thing to others. Now, what I think Debbie might mean by that is that it's a pot calling the kettle black situation to interpret what she's saying there. Now, Debbie's not bothered about pronouns. She can't be dealing with pronouns. But what did upset her was the Willoughby called for my premature demise. So there's that. Now, I've presented all of that. Of course, that will all be linked. Now we're getting into the stuff that I'm unable to link to you. But I will link India's profile. So, of course, India responded to what the police's decision had been. Now, interestingly, India did not make a response immediately. So I found that quite interesting. This was released quite a fair bit after the article, the announcement was made. So, yeah. So I met the police. So this is a bit long, so please do excuse me. I met the police today regarding J.K. Rowling's blatantly transphobic tweet about me claiming I was a man who was just cosplaying at being a woman, a statement which is obviously grossly offensive to any right-thinking person. The police officers, who were absolutely lovely, explained that they understood completely what had happened, but due to the legislation and rulings passed under the Conservative government, hate crime was a lot harder to prosecute. Even though I am covered by one of the protected characteristics, gender reassignment, and am legally recognized as a woman/female to constitute a hate crime, you have to prove hate and crime as two separate components for a comment made online. While J.K. Rowling's tweet met the criteria for hate, it did not cross the threshold of a crime, i.e. vandalism to my property, physical assault, meaning it did not meet the full requirement for prosecution, however, as a hate crime. However, it did meet the threshold to be officially recorded by the police as a non-crime hate incident. This is important as it highlights the most important part, in brackets, for me, of J.K. Rowling's horrendous comments which are putting the trans community in danger. A record has been made. J.K. Rowling's plausible deniability claim that she has never said anything transphobic has now officially gone. Registered by the police, I have requested police contact JK to remind her that what she says could have potentially terrible consequences for other people. You only have to read the graphic abuse and death threats on my timeline to see that. Feel free to dip in. Going on from there. Now, please remember that the police haven't confirmed whether or not they have recorded this as a non-crime hate incident. Okay, so just be aware of that. Going on from here, UK law clearly needs to change. LGBT plus hate crime needs to be made as serious offences which are race and religion related. They are the only two at present that do not require the extra component of an actual separate crime to justify hate crime prosecution. Ideally, all 9 protected characteristics should be fully protected. I will carry on speaking out about the disgusting transphobia that is rampant in Britain. Thanks to this ridiculous government, British media, the gender criticals, and celebrities such as J.K. Rowling and Ricky Gervais' lives are at risk. Finally, I have always stood up for myself, and that will not change. I'm really disappointed that others are intimidated by these bullies and what I call the swarm that follows JKR and revel in abusing the trans community. Weak. Hashtag the end. Did I get it wrong? Was it the swarm, or is it just something that India changes all the time? Okay, maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I misremembered. But I wouldn't know because I am blocked. Yeah, I'm part of the India Willoughby blocked me club. So there you go. That's what India thinks. What do you make of that? Please let me know in the comments below what you make of what India has said. So, of course, India isn't happy. And this was tweeted today. Shocking. I can't even reply under tweets anymore because JKR's dementors jump in. Okay, maybe India's just changing up names. It's hate and harassment. She absolutely knows what her words trigger. Police have been useless. They don't want the headache of dealing with the Home Secretary, Daily Mail, etc., so are ducking it. I'm appealing their decision to not prosecute and will be asking for a review on Monday because there are certain things about the statements I'm not happy with. Okay. Does this have grounds for an appeal? What do you think? Let me know what you think. Okay, so a few more. So India also goes on to say, you see what ignoring blatant transphobia by J.K. Rowling inspires at Met Police UK by not tackling abuse at the root. You encourage more and potentially worse. You are putting lives at risk. Lots of these tonight. And obviously there it says, so it's not a hate crime to say trans women are male. And then India also says the transphobic abuse towards me tonight, it personally is brutal. The sort of stuff that could easily push someone over the edge. Feeding frenzy. I feel I've been thrown to the walls by the Metropolitan Police and the individual who conducted the interview. This country is a disgrace. Now, India there is talking about Byline TV. And what happened with Byline TV was that J.K. Rowling noticed something that the interviewer had said, and she pulled him up on it. And he then went on, and you'll see this on JK's profile. He went on a barrage of really quite cruel hate speech, you could say, and it wasn't very nice actually. And Byline TV pulled him up for it, and he was forced to apologize. But then, instead of just leaving it alone, he went and then started liking posts that India would absolutely hate people liking and all of that. And to be honest, he should have just stopped. Once he apologized, he should have just stopped and left it alone. So India, of course, feels like that being thrown under the bus is what's happened here. And then last one, India also says, read J.K. Rowling. I should also mention harassment. If it becomes clear I am being harassed by someone deliberately misgendering me on repeated occasions, that is an offence the police will act on. And then India also says, I would encourage everyone who is personally targeted with transphobic abuse to report it to the police. Now, one thing I want to ask is hate crime. Hate crime. Things like this, hate crime. Do you think it should be something that you should go to prison for? Okay. And what also do you think? Do you think India may win this appeal? Do you think J.K. Rowling will get into trouble for the things that she said about India? What do you think is going to happen? I mean, I've linked everything below so you can make your own informed decision. One interesting perspective that could actually come from this is the fact that that a lot of people here in the UK have been fired for things like misgendering, but now the police have said that this is not actually an offence. A lot of people who could potentially be fired for misgendering someone could potentially use this as a say, well, you know what, this is what happened. So, and the police have said it's not crime to do that. But, I mean, obviously, what the police say and what policies say at work are obviously very different. But anyway, I've linked everything below. Let me know what you think. Tell me, all of your opinions. It'd be interesting to hear from you. And check out the links, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.